This video is going to be a walk around of a 2017 Skeeter ZX200. You have your switch panel here at the dash. There's a main power switch, and that has to be on, and then you can turn on any of the pumps, lights, horn. Several of these switches are two positions. So if that switch is the navigation lights, that's the red and the green on in the front, and also the white light on the back. In the anchor position, it's only the rear light. Courtesy lights are all your floor lighting, your lights inside your compartments, live wells. You have an auto recirculation system or manual. Auto puts it on a timer. Same thing with the live well pumps, and auto and manual. Bilge pump is a manual switch here. It is an automatic float system in the back as well. Your live well drains, you just rotate that to open and closed. Your charge plug, for the battery chargers right here next to the seat, and then your dry dock system, which is a pump system, air pump that blows air throughout all the compartments to help keep them dry. You know, any of the rear compartments, front compartments. When you turn your key on, your tachometer zeroes out, your trim gauge shows your current trim position, water pressure gauge is at 0 until the engine's running, fuel level and battery voltage over on the left side, the up and down for the trim on the steering wheel, tilt button is here to tilt the wheel up and down. This particular model has the blank gauge plates on it, and you can mount your electronics wherever you like on this one. You have pop-up cleats on it. In the rear compartment here is your battery charger. This model is a 3-bank system. Main engine battery is noted as battery 1. And your battery switch is here. That's the off position. That's the on position. All in this area are fuses. Excuse me. For the power poles, main fuses for the system. Each charge lead, both positive and negative, have fuses on them as well. When the switch is in the off position, everything is dead in the boat. This is battery 1 here, 2 and 3. So then this was battery 2, noted 2 there, and then 3 is tucked under the other side there. Again, fuses on each one. That is your circuit breaker for the trolling motor, and all the trolling motor wiring. Again, this model has the optional motor, so this is your foot pedal mount. The wires will run in through here. Underneath the plate here is the block for the trolling motor wiring. Just undo the 2 screws, hook up the wires to that. Also in here on this one is the wiring for the fish finder, the power, and the network cord that goes to the dash unit. And the balance of all that is tucked up underneath this panel here. There's 4 twist locks. You just turn them and the panel will pop down. In there is your NEMA 2000 connection, and then on this model has the down scan, shoot through the hull style transducer underneath the charger. Basically, that's mounted. The pumps for the power poles are kind of tucked in against the back wall. You can see that green light flashing on it. Whenever the battery switch is on, those two power poles are powered up. So you do want to turn the battery switch off when the boat's not in use, or if you're not charging it, because they will draw the battery down. This has the power pole Pro Series 2 on it. And then on the secondary, on the port side, it has the offset bracket for the ladder. To operate the ladder, pull this pin. You can fold down the lower step and then pull the pin out and drop that down so you can climb up on it. To get it back up, just pull that pin out again, raise it up, and then just flip that up to the lock position. Again, that's the two different pins there. We do have tie downs built into the trailer. Push the rear button and that releases them. You can unhook them. You want to hook them back up. Squeeze the lower portion. Underneath here there's an additional handle. Squeeze that and ratchet it up, and that will lock it in place. You also have there's two red steering clips, one on each side of the hydraulic steering, and then there's also a tilt stop bar that goes with it as well. This is the tilt stop bar. The boat currently has about 6 gallons of gas in it, premium non-ethanol fuel. The main boat filter is tucked in kind of straight above the battery charger. Spin-on style filter. There's a secondary filter here right on the front of the motor, and your primer ball is here. This engine has been test run. Excuse me. This is your throttle connection, shift connection, oil filter marked with 0 hours, and we try to do that anytime we change the oil. We'll read the hours on it and then remark the filter so that everybody knows when it's done. The dipstick for checking the engine oil is here, and the engine should be run tipped back up slightly and then allowed to sit for a few minutes for the oil to drain back into the sump and then return to a level position. You'll want to restick the level, but typically you're looking for about halfway up on the stick after it's been run by that procedure. On the engine here, there also is a fuse panel. This cover pops off, and in here are various fuses as noted on here, and there are spares in there as well. As far as wiring and fuses for the boat itself, you have a 12-volt outlet here, and then underneath the dash there's a circuit breaker panel there for each individual switch that's on the panel here. There are 2 sets of keys with the boat. The main key has the rubber cap on it. The secondary key does not. And then there's also 2 additional keys for the compartments. Jack plate comes factory set. Generally speaking, we don't recommend changing that under most conditions. Propeller is the VMAX SHO prop, and this one is a 15 by 23 Ti. It does have the two-piece thrust washer behind the prop, and that should be greased at least once a season, both pieces of it, so that it performs the way it should. We also recommend greasing the prop shaft and the washer and all the hardware, and also another reason to remove the prop is to check the around the prop for any fishing line that may get into that. This model also has the transducer shield on it with the brackets and the offset. Fuel fills on the port side. It does have this tag on it that mentions, not to overfill the boat. We do leave that on there until you get it. Reason for that is it does have a charcoal filter system on it for the emissions, and if you overfill the boat past where the nozzle clicks off, you can actually put additional fuel into that charcoal filter and damage it. So the first time it clicks, stop the fuel flow, and you'll be all set. Glove box is here. Push the button and then rotate it to open the latch. This has the dual console on it. All your storage trays are in the center on this boat, and there in the front is another outlet for the blower system. Your seat posts and seats are in here. Storage on the other side, day boxes on the other side on this one. Center seat lifts up, and that cushion does snap off if you want to remove it and just use it as a step. You have your rod straps here, and there's two additional ones on the bow. Another 12-volt outlet on the bow as well. Bow light. Does have a safety cable to the winch, to the back to the trailer frame for the bow eye. It also has the swing tongue on it. You can just remove the pin here and then fold the tongue out on it. 2 steps to get up in the boat. Startup procedure on these is going to be turn the key on, wait a few seconds, make sure the control is in neutral, make sure your motor's tipped into the water properly, and then go ahead and crank it over. There is no choke, there's no moving of the throttle. The only thing you need to make sure is that your safety lanyard is hooked up underneath the pin here.